Thank you very much indeed. All protocols observed, because I have quite a bit to say. I belong to the group or the committee which is called Dero Kwan. And Dero Kwan was born in PongDwongo. The concept of Dero Kwan was born in PongDwongo, December of last year. And the aim really is to revamp education in the sub-region. The concept of Dero came up because we asked ourselves, where is the money going to come from? Who is going to give us the money if we are to revamp education? And the idea is that we are going to get the money from ourselves first. If you don't struggle, if you always beg, not very many people are going to be able to help you. And this is our own problem as Acholi. We should rise up, struggle, try to put things back together. So the idea of Dero Kwan is that we raise money and put it in this Dero granary, so that together we make enough money to begin to sponsor some children in the sub-region. I don't need to tell you how far we have sunk as far as education is concerned. We are really down there, we are nowhere. And everywhere we have been going in this sub-region, what really captures the imagination is when you talk about Dero Kwan. Because everybody in the sub-region knows that as far as our education is concerned, we are really in bad place. That if we don't improve on education, being part of Uganda is going to become very difficult for us. So everywhere we go, you talk about Dero Kwan, people listen because they think this is one of the things that is going to help us. Things have not been very easy in as far as raising funds is concerned, but we haven't given up. The idea was that in this sub-region, if each person from the age of 1 day to the age of 100 plus, if each year we were just to give 1,000 shillings each, we would be raising enough money to at least begin to sponsor some of our children in school, to the tune of maybe 2.5 billion shillings a year. And I think that is possible. It's not been easy yet, but I think the more we talk about this, the more people begin to learn what we want to do. It's going to happen. So we call upon each one of us here present who can spread the news for us. Please begin to encourage people, just 1,000 shillings a year. And it's going to help us to sponsor children in school. We can't sponsor very many because of lack of funds. But we can begin to do something. That is what we want to do. Begin to do something. As the years go by, you never know, we'll be able to get more funds and we can do something better. Now, the idea of sponsorship, in the large scale of things, we are thinking big. We're thinking of beginning even from primary. You all know that most of our schools these days, we don't give the children very good foundation. And the foundation of education really goes back to P1. The child should learn to read, the child should learn to write, to count. And that foundation in our schools is at the moment very weak. So that even if we say in primary 7 we want to start sponsoring children going to senior 1, they are not going to pass well enough to allow them to compete in secondary school admission. So what we are saying is that, okay, as the years go, our plan is to begin to pick some children, some very bright children. We see that they have a future. They are promising. we pick them, we select them from the primary schools, from P5, so that we put them in better schools where their foundation will be strengthened, so that when they come to P7, they can pass well and they can have a better future in the secondary school. But that is still ahead. We also want to sponsor children in secondary schools beginning from senior 1 to senior 4, and sponsor some in HSC, senior 5, senior 6, and also ultimately at university level or tertiary level. So this is in the big scheme of things. We are not going to start this next year yet. But what we have decided is that this coming year, 2025, we should not just sit and do nothing. Because if you don't do anything, this interest that you have generated in people may disappear. We want to do something not only to keep interest alive, but also to teach us. If we can experiment with this, we can learn a lot. What have we done right? What have we not done right? So our interest this year, as the members of the selecting committee for the sponsorship of the few children at Acholi, is to begin to bite a little as a pilot program, pilot project. And we are only aiming at sponsoring a few in Senior 1, 2025. Senior 1, 2025. Number 1, how many are we aiming at sponsoring this coming year? Our plan is to sponsor 60 in the whole sub-region. 60 students. How do we come to 60? We have 8 districts in the sub-region. We have Gure City also, and then we have Kitgum municipality. So from each district, we are going to pick 7. And that will bring us to 56. And then the sub-region, in the city, we pick 2. In the municipality, Kitgum, we pick 2. That comes to 60. So that is the number we want to sponsor this far. Number 2, who is going to be selected? How are we going to select the children that we want to sponsor? And I want you to hear this one very, very carefully because it's very, very important. It would have been very easy if we say we just select according to performance, academics. That would be very easy. You just wait for your NEP exams and you go by that. But our thinking is different. We think a child's future is not only determined by academics, there are other things that come in. Academic success may not lead to eventual success of a child in life. So there are parameters that we have put in place that we're going to look at. Academic is one of them. We think that that child we are going to select should be good enough academically to manage senior 1 in a good school. And that child, according to what we are thinking, should at least score grade 1 or grade 2. We know that they are weak, and we are aiming mainly at the government-sponsored schools in the villages, so they are not going to perform very well. But if a child can score well, grade 1, grade 2, then we are going to consider that one. But not only that. Secondly, the conduct of the child should be good. We are also considering the conduct of that child. Because you may sponsor a very clever person who is a thief, or who doesn't care about anything. Then that will lead us into more problems. So we are also looking at the conduct of the child. Are they helpful? Are they obedient? Do they cooperate? When they're in school, what kind of person are they in the community, in the school community? We are also going to look at the ability of this child to pay fees. Because we have parents who are able, And we have parents who are able but not willing. You know what I mean? So we want to zero on that child whose parent or guardian is struggling but really interested in seeing the child succeed in life. Maybe in each term, that 30,000, they struggle, they take an installment, but the school knows this parent, this guardian is interested in the future of the child.